So our For Fun region has started, and North America is playing on the 26th. I have to finish up. People have been asking me to do my possible MVP. I'm gonna get back to doing it.
Everybody's begging him. Everybody's like,
me.
please play tell us what you think.
Tell us what they don't love my opinions.
I bet they do. I'm just messing.
All right, so NA plays on the 26th, not All-Star 2016.
I forgot to actually pull up the schedule.
He forgot what year he was living in. I don't like black people.
Why am I next to you?
All right, it starts off. We got the marquee matchup of the day, as LEC calls it, matchup of the day. TL versus Cloud9. And you have TSM 100 Thieves, CLG Optic, Flyquest GG, and CG Clutch Gaming versus Echo Fox.
Okay, so
let's start because I think the top one is gonna be like the hardest one to predict. So let's start at the bottom.
It's gonna be why? No, let's start at the top. It's
not fun.
What's not fun? Let's start at the last day of the game of the day and then go to the first.
I think you're getting my drift. I'm just kidding. Okay, so TL and Cloud9. I think no bias here. No bias at all. I think Cloud9 wins this time around, but I don't think they win the next time around because TL would have gelled together by the end of the split.
I'll actually slightly agree, but for the most part, I'm still going to give the edge to Team Liquid. I think that Cloud9 has a really good chance of winning this because they've only replaced one mid laner, and I think Niski is really good at gelling with teams, and on top of the fact that Cloud9's a really good environment to kind of help teams mold together. But I'm going to give the edge to Team Liquid on this one because of the fact that...
Just TL fan.
No, just purely based off the fact that I think their strengths are a lot of what Team Cloud9 is weak at. I mean, their bot lane is extremely aggressive, and they're two good players. I think that's going to be...
It's like Cloud9 is stronger in bot, TL is stronger in bot, Cloud9 is arguably stronger in their top side.
And not even enough.
But the problem is like, you got to factor in Licorice was beating Impact most of last year.
I just don't think it's enough.
Impact beat him like once or twice out of all the time. Like, Licorice did what Impact did, but he just played it better.
I'm just saying he's not a big enough difference. It's not
consistent. I think it can be. It's proved that the games they won that it can be a big difference.
What I'm saying is he's not that much better than Impact or enough.
As long as he makes the Impact pun.
No. What I'm saying is I'm saying that Impact is not that much of a difference between Impact for me to give him that much of an edge. The difference in bot, I mean, the
bots makes it.
It's just gigantic. Like, Double Lift Core JJ, if it works out, I mean, obviously that's still a big what if, but they're extremely aggressive. They're better, like, in terms of laning, they're going to smash this lane. I still think Sneaky is one of the better out of lane ADCs, but again, that's his weakness.
Niski, I think when he first faces Jensen, he'll have a bit of issues, but I think he can hold his own.
He'll hold his own.
But that's the problem. Exploiting Niski's laning phase, if he gets too far behind, the game's over.
Again, I think that's not been a problem with him later on in the season. I think he's definitely improved at it.
The jungle squad, we don't know who they're playing. Blabber, Svenskeren, they haven't even posted on their actual...
My knowledge of it, I think it's going to be Svenskeren because Blabber played in the academy.
Oh, you're right. It probably is going to be Svenskeren.
Blabber did
play... think if they play Svenskeren, that means you're basically keeping your semifinals run synergy, except you're switching out a mid laner right now. I think something Sneaky said about Jensen. He said, we covered up a lot of Jensen's weaknesses. I mean, that we're not obviously behind the scenes, so that he might have new weaknesses that might make him not top two mid in the region so far. But we're not gonna know that. So I mean, each one has strengths and weaknesses. One has the bot lane strength is different because right now, would you say that the way to play League is to play through bot lane right now?
I'm gonna say the way to play League as it stands right now is not to play through bot lane.
So technically, they have a bit of it. So that can not.
The thing
be a
about it is
factor?
No. The problem with that is the ADCs that are in meta again are going to be ADCs that aren't crit, which kind of are extremely are not super aggressive in lane, or they are. There's a big difference. You're either going to have to play a Lucian type of character, or you're going to have to play somebody who's based in really bad early game. And I mean, honestly, you really expect Sneaky to take that early game aggressive ADC?
He's done well with it before.
He's not good at them. I'm sorry. I don't think he should take that. I don't think he should take that, especially against Double Lift.
Like, he's taken it before, and he's gotten decent results by doing it. I think that it's not the more optimal way to do it. I think that when they draft, they're not going to give him it anyway. But if you give him, like, Lucian or Caitlyn, I think he'll be just fine on it.
I don't think he's good enough on those characters to play.
Yeah, so I would say just give him either, like, Kai'Sa, Kalista came back, so that's fine.
I'm going to say the difference in every role on Team Liquid is just too large for Cloud9 to come back on. Like, the only edge I would say they even slightly have is in top.
Top, maybe jungle?
I would not say jungle. Svenskaren's too inconsistent again. Maybe he pops off. That could be a possibility. But for the most part, Xmithy's proven that he's a smarter player. He's proven consistently better. Like, I don't think he's good enough to compete with Xmithy on a good day. Unless he's just incredible. Gets like 7 kills in a row. But for the most part, I'm going to give the edge to Team Liquid because obviously, I mean, who doesn't give the edge to Team Liquid in any way? I could see Cloud9 taking it because based off the fact that they've already played together, I could see it happening. But I'm going to say it's most likely going to be Team Liquid.
So you're saying TL, I'm going to say Cloud9. Okay. So now we have the next match, 100 Thieves TSM. Okay. You had 100 Thieves at like...
Second.
I had TSM at fourth.
I had TSM at third. So this is going to be a pretty... This is going to be
pretty much... These top 4 guys are what you're going to see probably in like the end of this
We were trying to get tickets for this day, and apparently they sold out in like 2 seconds. Let me see. I want to see if they still have tickets. I'll buy 2 days worth of... I'll stay down there for a second day.
You will. How would we get down there?
You guys can run really fast.
He's over here looking up stuff that doesn't exist. This is some primetime quality content you're giving them.
Hey, how about you shut your mouth?
How about you let me lick?
Okay, so you see what the games are. You want to talk about it for a little bit? I just want to check real quick. 100 Thieves versus Team Liquid.
No.
Okay, so for the most part, I think that. Yep, they're sold out still.
I think
sadly.
You're a liar.
So for the most part, I think that the big difference in this team.
Fail.
You okay?
You just like epic failed right there.
I did not epic failed right there.
Epic failed. Just kidding. Okay, so they have. Okay, it's kind of like the way Europe looks with some of their teams. Broken Blade is the biggest question mark for TSM. We know we're pretty much gonna get out of Acadian at this point, so I'm not really gonna expect him to be a question mark. Another small question mark is how Sven works with Smoothie after having Mithy for so long. But the biggest question mark is Broken Blade. We saw last split how like Licorice got like picked on a lot in top lane. Do you think that 100 Thieves will try the same thing with someday? Will they like be diving Broken Blade a lot to kind of mentally put him back on his first day on stage?
Okay, this is not Broken Blade. Broken Blade has been in the scene for quite some time.
No, but he's playing it in a different region. It's a different stage.
Yeah, but he's not a rookie. I'm sure he's used to this kind of stuff at this point, so I'm not going to give any stage jitters because he's not a rookie.
I think that 100 Thieves will play through top.
I think that 100 Thieves don't need to because, I mean, again, I think Broken Blade's good, but some days just too good for anybody in NA to compete with. I think he's one of the few people I'll say are internationally capable of competing as a player.
Acadian to Onda?
Acadian to Onda. I'm actually gonna
toss up.
I'm actually gonna give the edge to 100 Thieves there because Onda, for the most part, during the end of the season and at Worlds, we saw him play extreme. I think he's been on an upward trajectory. He looked really good. Like towards the end, I could see him easily taking this jungle matchup. For the most part, I think that. The biggest difference is gonna have to come down to bot lane, and Sven Smoothie is just absolutely a strong lane. This is gonna be the best.
Against Bang and Africa.
These are, in my opinion, the three best bot lanes are gonna be playing in the first 2 games. It's gonna be Team Liquids, 100 Thieves, and TSMs.
Like, I guess Sneaky Zays will fight for that 4th place spot.
I wouldn't even say that.
I would say yeah. All the bot lanes look terrible.
You actually, I don't agree with that part, but for the most part,
I try to like force my opinion on it.
Yeah, I have a big difference with the Cloud9 bot lane, to be honest. I do pick on them a lot, so.
It's weird. So we have to go by ADC. Bang to Sven.
Bang to Sven, I think they have really similar playstyles, to be honest.
They're pretty much the exact same player.
No. Bang is still, I mean, I think a lot of people like to say that he's not aggressive, but he still is, definitely exerts a little bit of pressure in lane.
He does play more toward the scaling side.
He's not passive. He's not a passive laner.
He's played more passive recently.
He's not a passive laner. I think that more so is that he still puts most of his emphasis towards the late game, but he's still a strong laner. Like for the most part, I think that he does not try and make the first move, but he will act aggressively on any sort of weaknesses. Like if the support accidentally just makes an improper move or something. Like he does genuinely he genuinely is a strong laner, but I think that again both of these bot laners are going to be emphasizing more the late game kind of like playing. Like I think that 100 Thieves still has the edge in the laning phase, and I think they also like in terms of bot lane, and I also think they have the edge in the late game. It's really like I think that Bang is just an all around better player than Sven.
I think, but when they faced each other, at various points at international events, Sven did just fine against him. It's like he wasn't even feeding. He was just they were going literally even.
That's what I'm basing it off of, is the fact that he was playing with Wolf. I think a lot of people are giving Bang less credit for how aggressive decent he is in lane, based off the fact that most of the aggressiveness has to come out of the supports, like out of what supports can exert for you. I mean, obviously you can kind of trade throughout CSing and minions and stuff, which he doesn't do too often, but for the most part, I think that we're going to see a lot more come out of him now that he's in a lane with Afremu. I think we're going to see a lot of more pressure exerted in lane with him. But again, the reason that you didn't see Sven fall behind is, again, because he's playing. Wolf was not an aggressive laner. Wolf was one of the most passive laners you're going to get. Bang also kind of followed that up, so really not going to get more. Like, you're not going to see Sven fall behind. I don't think he's a bad ADC whatsoever.
I think...
And on top of the fact that, I mean, for the most part, I could easily see Sven being better than Doublelift. But we're going to have to see him come back to...
So in your power rankings, do you think that?
I put him in number 1. Did I not?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Sven's been worse than Doublelift like 1 season. And been better than like 3. I mean, like, I'm not going to give Doublelift the edge this season, no.
You have, well, I mean, to be fair, now Sven is playing with, people would say, arguably an upgrade in support with Smoothie.
Yeah, I think that this is going to give him the edge over Doublelift in terms of just as a player, but again, with Core JJ and what's it called, being an aggressive bot lane, I think that it might be a worse matchup for them. But
to be fair, just in this one, I think Smoothie's not too far away from Afremu in general.
I think that Afremu is better in terms of what he provides.
He's better as just an overall what the support can greatly bring to your team.
I don't think
I don't think Smoothie's that far away from doing what Afremu can do.
I mean, I think that in terms of things that he can, I don't think they're going to fall behind. I mean, the difference in lane is pretty minimal, but effectiveness around the map, Afremu's got to beat. Like,
no, it's just like whatever Afremu's going to do, I don't think Smoothie's just that far behind him that it's going to make the overall support matchup that big a difference.
Let's be honest, Smoothie was not great last year. Smoothie's last year was not incredible. I think that Afremu played really well last year until the summer split, like towards
both
the
of
end.
them had strong springs.
I don't think Smoothie's was as good as Afremu's though. Like, it just wasn't. But for the most part, I think that
mid lane.
Yeah, I think the big difference. Yeah, I think the big difference is going to come through mid lane, and I think that Huhi's able to competently hold his own. But again, Bjergsen's going to have the edge. Huhi's roaming kind of playstyle is not going to work well against somebody who's going to push him into, who is going to essentially just exert too much pressure on him to be able to do it. I think, again, you're going to see a lot of the differences in the game. It's going to come from these two. Like, whoever, if Bjergsen can completely pop off, which I can see happening against Huhi.
We'll see. I can see that is because Bjergsen has something to prove this week a lot, because get a factor in, he didn't make any noise anywhere last year, and he's been talking about it on social media. He's like, I want to make a big impact. So I can see Bjergsen just completely getting like a Kali and just popping off, or just them giving him the carry mid laner, and he's actually just going in and playing it extremely well. I think. How would the mid duo, the mid jungle synergy work out?
I don't know.
Bjergsen and Acadian.
I don't know.
Just basing off the players.
Basing off the players, I can't say anything. I don't know enough.
Huhi?
I'm just saying, like,
that sounds terrible.
Again, we haven't seen any of these. I'm not going to say mid jungle duo because I don't know what they do. I can't tell you.
Who are you saying out of 100 Thieves and TSM?
I think that the winner of this game is probably going to be...
Since TSM can communicate more effectively right now than 100 Thieves probably can on stage, I would say TSM.
I think TSM might have an... Let me think. No, I'm gonna give the edge to 100 Thieves, in my opinion.
Well, they both play slow. I don't know, like 100 Thieves. People don't remember had a lot of kills last year because they played longer games. You're gonna have longer games. You have more kills when you have longer games because you have more fights. Just right now, I think TSM will figure. I don't want to bet for TSM. I got burned every single time I do this. But you know what? You want to say 100 Thieves, but they have weaknesses right now too.
Like what?
Mid, jungle.
Jungle is stronger than TSM's, in my opinion.
It's not by that much.
I think it's by a substantial amount based off of Vonda's recent performance.
Probably. So,
I think that mid is obviously the only weakness they have in comparison to TSM right now.
And then 100 Thieves wins with the top lane.
Yeah, they win in top. I think they win in bot. I think that, in my opinion...
I don't know if they win bot, because Finn and Smoothie aren't, like,
they're not
competent.
Just because they're not pushovers doesn't mean they're not better players.
I mean...
I think they're better in both roles in bot lane, and so I'm going to have to give them the edge in that, too.
So you're going to say 100 Thieves?
I'm going to say 100 Thieves. You can say TSM.
I'm going to say TSM.
That's fine.
I think just... the week one, they're not gonna really truly know how to flourish their communication, as most people have said they know how to do right now. Because doing it on stage is different than doing it when you're in the confined walls of your house. Well, in the confined walls of their gaming house, but I think that being able to speak to each other right then and there during that day, where everybody has like their stage jitters, they want to kind of make the big play and do all these crazy things. I think TSM be able to do that more effectively right now, given what they have. But I do feel like that this is probably going to be the longest game of the day right there. Is Thieves TSM. They both play fairly slow. You could probably see it go really fast if Someday just completely cripples Broken Blade. Now, what if Broken Blade just completely cripples Someday?
I mean, realistically, I don't think it's going to go crippled either way. I think Broken Blade's an absolutely tremendous player. But
I think being stacked against Someday,
I think this is a bad matchup for him. This is a bad one to have.
He'll probably look good tomorrow. He'll probably look good on Sunday when he's playing against someone more of his skill, like Licorice, on the next day.
I think this is just a terrible matchup for him. I think this was a bad one for him to come into, but again,
I think he can do well.
I think he'll do fine. I think he won't get smashed. But let's go.
TSM for me. 100 Thieves for him.
Yeah.
CLG Optic. Optic was my dark horse. I think CLG was yours, right? Was CLG your dark horse when we did the power rankings? He's looking at a moth kill itself. And then
what is
it
it doing?
It just killed itself.
It just ran into my lights.
It died.
So CLG again. I think that with the addition of Power of Evil, I think they are definitely stronger than last year. Obviously, I had CLG ranked higher, but I'm having a lot of questions about both of these teams right now. I got it. Oh no, I didn't. You got it. I say okay. So I had a lot of questions about these teams. There's just so many just weird things about it. Again, I think Power of Evil is a good player. I think that Stixay Biofrost are a good bot lane. I think that
Power of Evil is better than Crown, even when he's depressed and making bad moves.
I think obviously if the fact is if Jensen can smash him that hard, I think that Power of Evil is very capable.
Genuinely, people don't understand EU mid laners really are good. So to see an EU mid beat a Korean is not even that shouldn't even be surprising.
It really should, because Crown is not.
Crown and the Korean mid laners aren't bad, but they're really good. But the EU mid laners aren't they're not 20 tiers below them.
I mean, they are 20 tiers below the very elite of the top.
Probably, yeah.
Koreans. They're not as good. There's not been an EU mid laner as good as Rookie, not as Faker. I mean,
for the West standards, there have been rookies and fakers here.
No, there's been rookies or fakers here.
You would count Caps like a rookie of EU for last year?
No, he wasn't as good as Rookie. He wasn't as good as UCal. He wasn't as good as Scout.
I'm comparing to West standards.
Yeah, but maybe Western standards. But again, I mean, there's 4 or 5 Korean mid laners that I would put above every Western mid laner last year.
To be fair, that's the thing. I think the big decider is not even the jungle. I think it's just mid.
It's gonna be mid, and see, does Crown come back to form? If Crown comes back to form, Optic
can Power of Evil in his full form beat Crown?
What form are we talking about?
Form where Crown's not
Are we talking about on Victor? When he one shot
Victor, but
Victor's
actually meta right
I'm
now.
talking about in terms of when he was that good. Or are we talking about?
I would say his 2016 standard, where he was just arguably one of the best mid laners.
I mean, I'm gonna say on that, if he's that standard, I mean, Power of Evil doesn't stand a chance.
We're not gonna, but I know we're not gonna see that week 1.
We're not gonna see that ever. I don't think he's ever gonna come back to that form, but I do think he can come back to form to be one of the better mid laners.
What if it was just Kuro?
I would like that. I think Kuro would stack up really nicely against a lot of NA mid laners, even though we see him struggle against, obviously, if you remember any of his performances on Africa during the international stage. But again, I don't think he's that bad. As bad as he performed at there, I think he's capable of being one of the top tier mid laners in EU at that phase. I'd like to see Crown come back to form, but likelihood is he doesn't. I think that Power of Evil wins this matchup.
Now, remember we talked about when we talked to Dr. Manhattan?
Yeah.
And he was he's heard that Wiggly's actually
I don't care.
really well. I know a lot of people have been saying he's coming off really well.
I can't base it off anything. I haven't seen it myself. Again, I'm not going to base it off anything besides.
But Meteos to Wiggly is probably going to be favored to Meteos because he's been on.
I mean, whoever plays, either one of the junglers play, they're both going to be better than Wiggly. I mean, in my opinion, those are the top 2 junglers in NA last year.
And then they're both on the same team.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Decisions.
Yeah. So top lane, CLG has.
Oh wow. I think Dolka's recent performances could put him above Darshan. We saw Dokla literally carry and win some games. Not a lot of new players are competent enough to do that.
I think that I'm gonna put it out there. A lot of people have said, "Wow, you hate Darsan, don't you?" And I do. I really do hate Darsan.
Don't ever watch this video.
I mean,
I'm not speaking for that guy. Darsan.
No, I'm gonna put it out. Like Darsan is like I liked him as a player. He's a really good legacy player, but he's been absolutely terrible in the recent years. Like it's been terrible. Like we remember Quas. Quas quit. Quas quit when he started going downhill. You should have also. I'm going too hard. No, I'm being honest. Like it frustrates me that they haven't moved on. Like he gives the veteran experience, and that's like not good enough. That's not. They have veteran experience.
Impact gives veteran experience, and he's actually still pretty good.
No, let's think of the bot lane. The bot lane has been here for a long time. They're not children anymore. I think at this point they're capable enough. They've been around the league long enough to. I think they could lead the team. I think that obviously Power of Evil's been in the league longer than pretty much anybody. I think that he could be the team leader of this team. The jungler, I think Wiggly's a really good pickup. I'm really excited about that.
We've seen Wiggly get CLG Academy to Academy Finals. We saw him get Cloud9 to top 4 the Academy Finals. I think he can be a very good leader. I've seen what he offers to what those teams do.
He's not a good leader in terms of no one's going to respect him enough to listen to him. He's not going to take the lead of this team.
If you come with the mindset of, okay, we can't do it, let this guy do it, that might work, but that didn't work out last year. But, I mean, I think that Dokla is not that much worse than Darshan. I think that Dokla is probably better at the moment. If Dokla shows what he showed till like the end of the split last week, he wasn't actually that bad.
I think he wasn't great. I think that
if he gets camped, he's just done.
I mean, he's not great. On top of the fact, his pocket picks, he's too reliant on them. I don't like that.
I mean, to be fair, if he could just do that on the meta picks, he would still be pretty good.
If he could, which I haven't seen him yet, so I'm not going to say anything.
But do you think it's favored in Dokla's favor at the moment?
I think that Dokla's, honestly, as it stands, the better player. I think that Dokla's got the edge right here. I think that Optic's got the edge in jungle. I think that mid lane goes CLG's favor, but the bot lane is the big... I don't know.
CLG wins the bot lane so hard.
They do. Like, Biofrost... I mean, Arrow is completely capable of being the best player in this game. But we haven't seen the Arrow in forever. I mean, it really depends on what state of mind Arrow's in at this point. Is he excited for the new season, or is he just like, give me my paycheck? Like, I don't know. I'd like to see... Big is just... Why is he on this team? Again, another player that I just...
Why did they just play Stunt?
Why don't they make a team out of Darshan and Big and send them off to somewhere else? I'm sorry. Like, this is aggravating.
Why don't they just, like, take Janair's support and use him? Yeah, it's like Nola, right?
I don't think he was that bad. In fact, I would say that's probably the best player on Janair right now.
Grace is actually not that bad.
No. I don't like Grace. If you watch the SKT versus Janair game, he was genuinely, like, when SKT was ahead, like, what's his name was setting up game, like, that
he was actually playing genuinely really
he played
good.
Rakan, and he set up a 5-man Rakan. What's it called? When they were behind by, like, 10k gold. Set it up, and then Galio ulted straight down.
Good lord.
Like, they lost that fight super hard, but he looked really good doing the setup. Like, it was like...
I mean, to be fair, if they were, like... competent in gold, like if they were close in gold, that would have actually went their favor.
I think honestly, I'm gonna put it out there. I think that he's gonna be the next big, or not next big star, but I think he's very capable of being a good support. But that has nothing to do with this video. I'm sorry.
What are you gonna say? CLG or Optic?
This is hard for me. I think I might actually
Optic.
I'm gonna have to give the edge to Optic right now because I think that based purely off the fact that I think that Optic has the shot caller as it stands. They melded together a lot better than CLG is. I think that this first game is going to go Optic's favor. I think that later on CLG is going to be better.
I think CLG will beat them the second time around.
I think, yeah, but I'm going to give the edge to Optic for right now. You can like, obviously, I think that CLG is a decently fine call because they obviously have better players.
I wanted to say Optic too, but
yeah, again,
it's really, like, that's so dicey. Like, they win in mid. Technically, they win in jungle. I mean, they win in jungle. They win in mid. They win in top. They don't. I mean, technically win in mid. They win in jungle. They technically win in top, depending on what Darshan we see.
Yeah.
What if we see the 2016 Darshan?
Well, I mean, like, it was spring or summer.
The one that spring.
No, it matters which one. Those are two different Darshans.
Like the last in MSI before they face SKT.
If we get spring finals, then I see CLG smashing this game. If we get anything past that, I see that Optic wins. I think the Optic might win.
I'll say CLG. I think that's a safer bet.
That's probably the safer bet, to be honest.
Because I'm behind right now in our predictions, so I need a win. I need some wins on these boards.
All right, now this is going to be the hardest game in probably out of the day to kind of make a prediction on. This is the hardest game of
all split.
Yeah, to make a prediction on, it's going to be Flyquest versus Golden Guardians. I think that
here's a better question to predict this game. How does Golden Guardians not win?
Okay, so Hansher is pretty average in my opinion at this point. I think, let's think about it. A lot of the top laners are kind of rating him as an average top laner at this point. And I don't know if I would say that. I think he's above average still. But
I still want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I really don't think he was that bad.
Yeah, for the most part, Viper is a big question mark. I don't know if I can give him the edge over Hanser. I still think Hanser's quite a bit better than him.
Flyquest is going with the whole C9 route. Grab a NA top laner. Hope he works out. Hope he's like.
I would love that, man. I would love if he worked out. But
if he was like Licorice, even if he's Licorice level, which Licorice is power ranked top 3 and 3rd on power rankings, that still is not good enough to put them at a lot of wins. Okay. You don't play through top right now.
I mean, I think top lane's fine. I think there's really
And the worst part is he's new, so it doesn't matter if he knows what to do. The other players that have been here know how to beat him.
Let's be honest. I think there's a lot of ways that Flyquest could win this game. I mean, again, Paul Belger's not a pushover. I think that he's very much capable of going against Froggen. Again, I don't know how good Froggen is, so that's why I'm saying this. I don't know if I want to put too much faith in it, but
I think I'll still give the slight edge to Froggen.
I think if Froggen's a better player, but I think that Paul Belter can hold his own. Depending on if you come, again...
Santorin to Contracts?
I think that Contracts actually loses this one pretty hard. I think that Santorin is a better player than Contracts. I think he's been more stable. I think that he knows how to make his own moves, and I don't think that Golden Guardians has the directing hand to give him kind of the way to go. For the most part, Santorin makes his own moves. He kind of does the, play makes on the team.
The pace of the game.
Yeah, dictates the pace of Flyquest's, game. And Golden Guardians is going to be dictated around, I don't know who. Hanser? I don't think Hanser's a good shot caller. I think that if he's ever been the shot caller at TSM, I've never been impressed. I think that bot lane is going to be the big reason why I think that Flyquest loses this. I think JJ's good. I think JJ's a good and upcoming talent support. But again, that's not good enough to beat Deathly and Ole. Ole and Deathly, that's a extremely strong bot lane in my opinion.
Yeah, that's one of the more underrated bot lanes people aren't even looking at right now.
It's the second single most underrated bot lane besides Piglet and Vulcan.
C9 Zazel. I'm just kidding.
But for the most part, I think that...
Yeah, it's really hard to predict this. How do you argue about Golden Guardians losing?
I
thought I would never say that, honestly.
Well, Golden Guardians honestly just look better now.
Oh, gosh.
Let's think. Ole definitely smashed the bot lane. I think that Froggen still wins mid lane. I think that the jungle is going to go towards the Flyquest, which is going to be the one lane I think they win in. And then Golden Guardians wins top lane with Hanser versus Viper. I mean, realistically, they win all around the map. I think they also have a genuinely better direction in terms of how they play the game. I think that Santorin, if he is allowed to dictate the pace of the game, could turn this game around, but for the most part, there's really nothing I can say in favor of Flyquest.
The play on the Rift by Wild Turtle has been atrocious. Atrocious?
Yeah, but for the most part, Golden Guardians, I don't see anything. I don't see anything going on.
If Santorin could somehow pop off so hard on Kha'Zix that as one shot to everybody, from full health as a tank to 0,
if that ever happens with Kha'Zix, I will actually permanently ban him from the game myself, if he's capable of that.
Now, what if Santorin and Viper are the next aggressive top jungle duo? We know Santorin doesn't game for top, so that's not gonna happen.
They have 3 good players on this team, and then if Pole Belter's capable, I think that's fine. But they still have weaknesses in Wild Turtle. So JJ's good.
Even if Viper is the next Licorice, the weak bot lane is gonna destroy them.
Yeah. So pretty much, Flyquest loses this probably 90%.
I would say 99.99% of people are going to say Golden Guardians.
Yeah, I think that Golden Guardians wins. And the last game of the day is going to be Clutch Gaming versus Echo Fox.
We don't have to go over this one because we know who's going to pick. You're going to pick Clutch Gaming. So I'll just ask you, what is going to make Clutch Gaming lose to Echo Fox?
Okay, Lyra could honestly not come back to Forum. If Lyra doesn't come back to Forum, Vulcan and Piglet they're going to smash because they're the most amazing bot lane. No, for the most part, I think that the biggest question mark on this team...
No bias here, guys.
Biggest question mark on this team is going to be their direction because I don't think they have a shot caller. I think that DeMonte is extremely capable in terms of just coming back to... we've seen what he's capable of. Did not perform well in the last split he played in, but he hasn't been in the league for too long. I think he could easily be a good mid laner.
DeMonte's got... Phoenix has something to prove in this match.
He does.
Beating the person who replaced him.
Yeah. I mean, I can see this game going either way, to be honest. But for the most part...
You're going to pick Clutch.
I mean, I'll get to me saying I think Clutch is going to smash everybody in this league later. Actually...
They win in top by a long shot. Huni could suck and have a stomach virus like he had last split, it doesn't matter. He's still better than Lorlo and Solo put together.
Yeah.
Lyra is an issue because Rush was on KT Rolster. He knows a better way to play the jungle. I don't
think he knows a better way. I think more so
he's played behind Score. He's been around Score for almost 2 years, right?
I mean, to be fair, Lyra played against Score for a longer time.
I mean, that did make him a better player.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I think that Lyra is genuinely had really good years, but he had a downward trajectory. I think he's had one bad year. One bad year, and probably like four good years.
That's just Dr. Manhattan said he could be the next Reignover. Where he doesn't work out this year, he's just done.
I think there's a lot of these things could happen. Obviously, if he plays bad 2 straight years, why would you want to keep him? But again, I mean...
I think Rush beats him. I think Rush has played substantially better.
I think that Rush has played better recently, but again, Lyra coming back to form is better than Rush.
Like, if you look at just past recent performance, the regional qualifier series of Clutch and Echo Fox, Lyra looked even worse. I don't even know if that's even possible. How's it even possible to look worse?
Well, I mean, they all looked worse, to be fair. The team around him looked bad. That's why he looked
That's why I'll
worse.
give the extra Rush. Phoenix to Demontic pretty much could go either way.
It could go either way. I'm going to give it.
I'll give the slight edge to Phoenix.
Yeah. And then the bot lane, I think that the bot lane is substantially in favor of Clutch Gaming.
I think...
Don't say a word of what you're about to say.
Apollo could beat Piglet.
That's not true. That's actually just not true.
That's pure trolling.
He's just messing... Okay.
Like... In a vacuum where you give Piglet the Ezreal and you give Apollo the Caitlyn, maybe Apollo can beat Piglet.
Okay. First of all, he knows that I really I really overrate Piglet. I know I do.
I think Echo Fox is going to think that Clutch's weakness is their bot lane, and they're going to try to set up dives toward the bot lane. And I think that Hakuo is better than Vulcan, from what we've seen, and I think that they're not that far away from Piglet and Vulcan, but Piglet makes it the deciding factor because this is Piglet's redemption story for a lot of he's got a lot to prove himself too but here's the thing about Piglet right now, no one's checking for this guy, no one's looking at him. He has to come in with no expectations. A lot of these players are coming in with high expectations. He's coming in with 0. People think this guy sucks. He can go in and play freely, pop off, no one's gonna care, doesn't matter.
I care.
Back to reality, that's what Eminem would say. So that's the thing that Clutch has that a lot of people aren't understanding. They have a lot of players that aren't being looked at. They have the players that aren't being checked for because they had past bad splits. So I think that this is a team that comes in and just plays fairly freely because no one is going to look at them. No one's going to see them as a strong team. They're going to see them as just an easy team for free wins. But do you show all that week 1? Because I feel like Clutch is going to show all their cards in these next 2 days, and then we're going to know exactly what team they are. I feel like that's the team they're going to be. They're going to be a team with all aggression, no macro, kind of like a version of Vitality.
Who?
Clutch.
I think Clutch is actually going to be similar to Echo Fox last year. I think they have a really similar role. It's probably because they switched players. But for the most part, I think...
likely.
Yeah, I think that's But for the most part, they have really similar characters in this team. Lyra has a similar function to Dardoch, and then Huni has a similar function to Huni last year. Demonte has a similar function.
Was substantially better than Lyra.
I mean, obviously, but the kind of role they attempt to take is similar. Don't say it's not.
That's the thing. Can Lyra play towards Huni's strengths the way Dardoch did?
The thing about it is Dardoch got... I don't think even Dardoch played towards top, to be honest. For the most part...
I mean, he didn't need to for a while.
Yeah. I'm gonna put this out there. I think that Lyra is gonna come back to form because, in my honest opinion, I think that a Freak when he was on a Freak of Freaks, I think that he was an extremely aggressive jungler. One of the best aggressive junglers in the world at that point. Came into NA, really proved that he was capable of doing it. Then kind of slumped during the next year. I think that he's capable of coming back to form. A good aggressive jungler on this team would fit this team extremely well, and I think this could be one of the best. Actually, I'm going to put this out there. At one point, I looked at Cloud9 Jack's power rankings. He said how scrims were going. And apparently scrims are going extremely... He put Clutch Gaming in second place right below Cloud9,
so
obviously.
if he was a Cloud9 bias, Clutch first.
Clutch would be first. And I'm going to put that out there. At one point, I put...
translating to stage is what we talked about, too.
Again, but I don't think that is relevant to Clutch Gaming, is the thing. I don't put that on in any sort of aspect. That's more for new players or people who have a lot of stage jitters. I don't think that really is relevant to Clutch Gaming. For the most part, that is the biggest reason that I actually put Clutch Gaming at number 1 at one point. I put him back down to where... Yeah, I brought him back down, but I think I put him at 5th. Can you chill out, dude? Stop that? No. Yeah, I put them at 4th, right?
I thought you had him at third.
Did I put him at third? I might have put him at third. I don't know.
You put him at third.
No, I think I put him at fifth.
You put Cloud9 at fifth.
Oh, I put him at fourth.
This guy's brain needs to be like seriously checked.
No, I put Cloud9 at fifth. I put Clutch Gaming at fourth. For the most part, I think that Clutch Gaming it's possible. I mean, I could also see that Sneaky retires after this season because he gets manhandled by Piglet. But again,
that sounds hot.
Yeah, it's okay. So for the most part, I could easily see Clutch Gaming being one of the better teams in NA just purely based off of the amount of talent they have on this team. But again,
well, you had him as your dark horse too.
I definitely are the dark horse of this league. But again, it seems like they're working out in scrims, so I'm really having a lot of faith right now. I'm going to put them going over 1-0 on... I'm going to say they won the series against Echo Fox. Because, again, like, the matchups that are not in favor of them, I mean, mostly come out of the maybe jungle, and that's not enough. I think that there's just too many, extremely strong carries on this team.
I think Clutch wins this one. I'm not... It's not like they're so favored against Echo Fox right now. I think Echo Fox could... People aren't checking for Echo Fox either. Both teams are coming in with no expectations. Like, these could literally be sleeper teams of the whole league. But what's the better sleeper team? Even though out of sleeper teams, there's always going to be a better one. And I think Clutch right now is a better one. The only strong side for Echo Fox right now, as from what we've recently seen, was Jungle. I think Apollo is capable to be Piglet. Depends on his picks. Here's the problem. A lot of people can look better against certain people with certain picks they're given. Like, Faker could look worse against Rookie if Faker was given Galio and Rookie's given Akali. That's just how it's going to work.
Honestly, I'm going to put this out there. If Song had went to Clutch Gaming, I would have probably put them at second. That's the biggest reason. The biggest reason I didn't put Clutch Gaming really that high. I put him at fifth, I think. Fourth or fifth. I don't 100%.
No, you had him at third.
I didn't have him at third. I promise you I had TSM at third.
Really?
Yes. I had TSM at third. But for the most part, I think that the biggest thing is going to be that their coaching staff is not going to do... I don't know enough about them. I think it's a new coaching staff coming into the Clutch game.
I forgot. Dr. Manhattan told us Clutch's coaching staff, too.
I don't know his name. I don't think he even has a name, to be honest, that I know. He hasn't been on the team yet, from my knowledge. So, for the most part, my biggest question mark is going to be Clutch Gaming and whether or not he's actually capable as a coach. If it works out, I'd be happy. If it doesn't, I mean, it's just what it is. So... I put the edge again, still to Clutch Gaming, but I would really like to see.
But it's not like really. It's not like how favored are you put Clutch Gaming out of like a scale of 1 to 10?
75.
But it's out of 1 to 10.
Well, then 7.
Good boy.
So I'm gonna say that Clutch Gaming wins this most likely, but this game is more so gonna be. I'm not even gonna care about the matchup. More so is how the coaching staff picks around his team. This should be the biggest indicator if you're looking at the coaching staff. If you're caring about the coaching staff, this should be the biggest game of the season. These first 2 games for Clutch Gaming. See how he picks around his strengths. See how he tries to maneuver the drafting phase. And if he does well, I believe in this team.
I think if you go to Clutch, you kind of already see what picks they're getting. I could literally see their draft phase right now. Like, I could predict it myself. But
predict it right now.
I'm too smart for that.
Okay, so...
Hooney's getting the aggressive pick. Lura's getting the tankier jungler.
I would not see that. I actually see him on an aggressive jungler.
I can see Demonte being on the Galio.
Yeah, Galio's 100% going to be what he gets on.
Piglet's probably going to be on Ezreal. Vulcan's probably going to be on the Alistar.
Okay, so, I mean...
They're going to play aggressive because that's going to be most of their team's playstyle. Piglet's going to be aggressive. Hooney's going to be aggressive. Demonte's going to be aggressive. We know that by now. I just think that the only passive laner they have is Lyra at the moment from what we've seen.
Lyra's not passive.
And you have Vulcan. I think Vulcan will play to whatever speed Piglet's gonna play with.
See, the thing about it is, I don't think he's passive more so as he didn't do anything. Like, passiveness, like, passive playstyle and just not doing anything are 2 different things in my opinion, because he wasn't passive. It's not like he played reactive. It's
more
so
reactive.
He didn't do anything. Lyra did nothing last year. Lyra sat there
That's
and
the problem.
Just sat
That
there.
is a problem.
And
That's
honestly,
a big problem.
that is not a bad playstyle. I mean, it's not like it's a bad playstyle, more so is that he's not trying. He's not a bad player. I think that is a very good indicator that it wasn't him giving his all last year. I think this is going to be a turnaround season for him. That's my biggest... That is going to be my dark horse, is going to be Lyra doing really well this season, and Echo Fox getting into the top 2. That's my... That's a dark horse, but yeah.
That last part, he did not mean that.
I meant that 100%. I meant that 100%. So that's pretty much it for us.
Alright, so Cloud9 for me, TSM, CLG, GG, and Clutch
and then,
Gaming.
Yeah. So...
He has TL, 100 Thieves, Optic, actually.
Golden, and then Clutch.
The weirdest... The match that I can see not me being right is Optics, actually.
Yeah, that one's going to be the big question mark. I'm still going to say Optic gets it, but it's going to be, like, really close, if anything. So
I gotta go, guys. I gotta work. I gotta work in the morning. So
goodbye.